Okay. I literally just finished my lunch. So that's why I'm running a bit late. So today I have a couple of community experiments that I want to dive into. This is basically things that people have been sending me to check out. I'm going to change the order around just a little bit. So there is this MCP tracker that someone sent me, where you can log and inspect MCP requests. It's a plugin. We'll go through that. Then there is a WP AI client provider for Mistral. So I need to go off camera for a second. 1 second. Back. Okay. So this is a provider for the WordPress / PHP AI client. You can basically set up Mistral and use that. So we'll check that out. Then there is 2 packages or 2 plugins that a friend of mine, Lax, has developed. Lax is a contributor. He works at works at one of the agencies. I can't remember which one. But he has developed Claude to Blog, which is an MCP integration for WordPress that enables assistance. So I'm guessing this is built on top of. Looks like uses the ability API. It needs an adapter plugin. So it's basically setting up things, custom servers and things. So I'll check that out. And then he also built Ability Scout. Ability Scout essentially scans any installed plugin and discover potential abilities for the Abilities API. So that's interesting, and I'm going to check that out as well. So bunch of community projects. People are playing with all the AI tools. People are experimenting. I love seeing people experiment. So I'm going to spend some time today checking them out, see what they do, see how they work. And yeah, I'll do it from there. So let's start with the MCP tracker. Actually, MCP tracker is a log for MCP requests. So it might make more sense to try that after we check out Ability Scout or Claude to Blog, because then that'll use some MCP tools and then we can track them. So let's leave MCP tracker till last. I'm actually going to update my list here and move that to the end. Do that after Claude to Blog. Let me do Ability Scout. Okay, so let's start with the AI client provider for Mistral. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, let's go back one step. So WordPress has a WP AI client. And essentially what that does is that allows you to connect your WordPress site to any LLMs and then use the LLMs within your WordPress site. I think I have, let me check my local site here. It's fine. So let me just see what plugins I have installed here. Yeah. So I built a client demo a while ago. Let's just deactivate that. And the rest can stay deactivated. And let's deactivate the Llama provider. And let's activate the client demo. So I built this client demo plugin a while ago. And essentially what it does is it uses the WP AI client with the PHP client underneath it. You can set your API credentials, which hopefully I've got at least 1 or 2 keys. There we go. I've got 2 keys sorted, so that's great. And then it creates this AI SDK demo form, which you can then use to generate posts using AI. I'm just going to disable WooCommerce on this site as well quickly. Don't need WooCommerce. Okay, so if we go to the posts on the site, I think I've installed all my posts. So let's trash that one, and that one. So you'll see there the Living Builder modules is the first post there. I imported all of these from my personal site. So if we go to AI SDK demo, this will now connect to the AI providers that are configured in the credentials, which was Anthropic and OpenAI. And then I can say title will be, let's say, top 10 reasons to use WordPress. And then for the prompt, we can say write a short listicle blog post covering the top 10 reasons to use WordPress. Let me open up developer tools so we can see what happens in the background. So that fires off a request, generate post request. I think this uses the AI client JavaScript API, and then it should return the post content and then create the post. So let's see. It says please hold for update, so it's busy thinking. This might fail miserably. Sometimes I find if the timeout is not set high enough, then it takes too long to respond. So let's see if this finishes. Yeah, I feel like this has fallen over. Probably expected too much from this. Oh, no, there we go. Post generation completed. Okay, let's see if it actually did. I need to put a timer, or yeah, I see it hasn't actually created the post. Let me do a smaller one. It'll be quicker and easier. So the quick one would be like WordPress haiku, and you say a word WordPress haiku. I do find working with local models when I'm testing this works better, which is kind of why I'm interested in checking out Mistral. Seems to be very slow today. I wonder if the models are down. Let's see if that's worked. Huh. Something seems to be broken. Anyway, I know it has worked before. I'm not going to worry about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my plugins. I'm going to activate the Llama model provider because that's models that I can run locally. And so this is a plugin that I wrote that essentially allows you to. What is the models that I have installed? That seems weird. No, those are the models I have installed. Okay, so good. So let's do Quen 3 latest. Yeah, that's fine. So let's save those settings. Let's go back into the credentials and clear out the API keys. So now it should just use the local model. And theoretically, it should be probably quicker. So let's try that and see. Let's go a WordPress. Okay, this was all working the last time I played with this. So let's see what happens here. Okay. There we go, WordPress haiku. So it's created, it's generated blah, blah, blah. There you go. But yeah, so we know that works, so we can use that as a test. So the mistrial provider essentially allows you to use mistrial models. So I want to see what this is all part of. So let's download the plugin. Oh dear, there was an error there. I wonder if the internet's having problems today. Ah, there we go. So let's download that. I'll just stick it on my desktop for now. Let's close that because I don't need it anymore, and let's install the plugin. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to deactivate my alarm model provider. I'm going to add Laurie, I think his name is. Like, so let's add that. Okay, I'm not sure if this creates any settings or anything. I might have to dig into the code. There has been an error on the website. Oh dear. Wonder what the problem is. Let's go dive into the debug log and see. That's why we do these things. I'm going to clear this out and let's try that again. Okay, still getting the error. Okay. Could not find resource using discovery strategy. Okay, I wonder if Laurie hasn't packaged everything in the plugin download. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clone the repository and see if we can get it to work that way. Yeah, the vendor directory is not there, which might explain why it's not working as a plugin. Okay, all good. So let's go back here. Let's need to remove the AI client provider from the Stripe. Okay, and then let's clone. Okay, while that's doing that, I'm going to switch over to my terminal because I just like working in a separate terminal versus the one in PHP Storm. Let's close that. Studio, WordPress, content, plugins. Provider for mistrial. And then it's probably going to be a case of composer installing. Yeah, composer install. So Laurie, if you're watching this, you might want to consider fixing that bug. Basically, it's just your packages that are needed for plugin to work, which is probably okay. So yeah, I guess the problem is you. Now I feel like the PSR one should be inside the regular require because you got it in dev at the moment, so that might be the problem. I'll think about logging it as an issue later. I've got time to debug it and fix it now. But let's go with where were we? Oh yeah. Let's composer install. That should be it. Okay, so that should now work. So let's go back to plugins. Yeah, still getting an error. I think you need to. We're going to need to do the autoloader. Let's try that. Okay, so I think this is because okay, it's Laurie, yes. I think this is because Laurie has built this as a composer package, and then you need some additional work to release it as a plugin. So Laurie, if you happen to be watching this, maybe check that out. I tend to build a plugin first and then worry about the composer package second. It's just because I decided to sort it this way, so it's not like a huge issue. But at least now we should have something working. So I wonder if this adds any settings or anything. Doesn't look like it. Let's see what the plugin does. Data. Probably going to have to set an API key somewhere. Yeah. Okay. Does Laurie have it in his? Yeah, you need to set a mistrial key. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and open up VS Code off screen so I can. Wait, first what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to. Let's try. I'm going to have to register an account in this. Free. Do you get API keys for free? Chat access and speeches bar. See if you get API keys. Let's sign up for this. Just going to use my Google account. Not now. Okay, let's see if we can get API keys. Doesn't look like it. I might need a pro. Mistral API. I need to choose a plan. Oh no, I can experiment for free. Okay, cool. Oh, now they want my phone number. Oof. Okay, I'm gonna have to take this off screen because you all are gonna steal my number. So let's go through this process. So I need to select the country that I belong to. Hopefully my country exists in this list. Yeah, there it is. Okay, and then I'm probably going to get some kind of SMS, which I might have to punch in. And I haven't received the SMS. There we go. Yeah, my phone beeping. Okay, so my subscription is successful. Later, Create key. Okay, so I'm going to do this off screen again because I don't trust you. So I'm going to create the key. Okay, got my key copied. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to open up, I'll show you that I'm doing it. I'm going to open up WordPress, my local WordPress install here. Then I'm going to paste the key, not here, because I don't want you guys stealing my keys. So I'm going to open up my WP config file. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you everything up to the point where I paste the key. What I'm going to do is just paste the key in my notes so that I don't lose it. Okay. And then I'm going to just use it as a constant inside WP config. So define let's try API key. Okay, there we go. And now I can take the little screen and put the actual key in. Okay, so that's the actual key saved. There we go. All right, so now I should have the key saved. So with the key saved, it should just work. The way the PHP AI client works is you shouldn't have to use a specific provider. So what I should be able to do now is I should be able to disable my Llama model provider. No, I don't want the client demo. Stupid. I want the client demo. Okay, there's the client for that. That's the client demo. Okay, just have those two. Don't have the Llama provider enabled. Great. Don't have any API key set. Let's just check. No API keys. Oh, I could have put my key there. Oh wow. That's cool that Laurie did that. Added it to the AI client credentials page. Nice touch. I could have just put it there. I won't, but it's fine. So now if I go to my AI SDK demo, this should work. Now how I'll know this is work is because this is using AI to generate that message. So it is working. And that was pretty quick. So let's go back into posts. And let's just trash the post. And let's go back to the demo. And let's go WordPress haiku via Mistral. And the prompt is a WordPress development haiku. Let's go development haiku. Let's see if that works. That was pretty snappy, I must say. Mistral seems to be a lot faster than other avenues that I was using today. But there it is. There's the post. It has created it. Okay, it actually like returns. So it's returning different. That's interesting. It's returning different content. If you have a look at my client demo plugin, it actually does some work to strip out some stuff. Trying to find it here quickly. Oh, it adds a prompt to say make sure the response uses WordPress block editor markup, which Mistral hasn't done. It's using markdown format. So that's more of a like model thing than anything else. I mean, it works. So that's cool. All right. So Laurie, just yeah. On that note, your plugin download doesn't seem to work because you don't have. I'm guessing. I could be wrong, but I'm guessing it's because you've set up the where is it now? Not that one. You've set up the Guzzle dependency as a development dependency, not a production dependency. So that means it's only installing it in the dev environment. So you might need to just move that into the require section. You'll probably need the curl client and mock client to go with it, I would say. I think those are needed for Guzzle. if you have a look at, I think I got it in the alarm model provider. No, I don't. Where did I have it? In the demo, maybe? No. It's a PHP client demo that I did. Yeah. You'll see there, Guzzle's in the required, not the required div. So you might just need to fix that, and then it should solve all the problems. And then you'll probably need to also update your distignore to include the vendor directory, because you're going to need to include that when you build. See here. Yeah, because you'll need those. So, Laurie, if you're watching this, I'll see if I can find time to comment, leave an issue, open an issue on your repository. I'm tired. Open an issue on your repository around all of that. But it works. Good job, man. Okay. Let's move on to Claude to Block. So, like says, Claude to Block is a complete model context protocol integration for WordPress and enables to publish blog posts directly through conversation. So you need WordPress 6.9 or newer, PHP 7.4 higher, and the MCP adapter plugged in. And then you need to install this plugin. And then you can activate it, and then you can set up the bridge. So it's made for Claude specifically. Claude Code or Claude Desktop. Let's do this in Claude Code. Why not? I'm not a fan of Claude Desktop, so I'll do it in Claude. Lax, I will say one thing as I'm looking at this. If you're watching this, I'm interested to know why you're doing it this way. Because you could just add the default MCP adapter server to Claude Code. So I'm curious as to why you're doing all of this. But think about it. Does the MCP adapter currently ship with any tools? Cannot for the life of me remember. Anyway, let's go through the process. So, let's go back to there. Let's close that. Let's close that. Let's close that. Let's close this. I'm going to clone this repository so long. Okay, and then I'm going to go back to plugins to activate that, to activate client demo. Okay, so Lex says we need to have some WordPress 6.9, got it, PHP 7.4, got it. Install the MCP adapter plugins. Let's do that. I think I've got this. Oh, he's linked to the plugin's not on the repository. Let's install that. I'm going to just open up VS Code again. And I'll show you now what I'm doing that. Okay, so let's activate the MCP adapter. Now the reason I'm opening up VS Code is because I'm pretty sure that the MCP adapter plugin comes with some default tools. So I'm going to check those. Okay, so okay, let's go here. Should that is enabled. This one I don't care to show you because it's local, so it doesn't affect anybody. Okay, so let's copy that. So password is there. Username is admin. URL is this one. I'm probably going to have to do this in SSL certs thing that I need to enable. Documentation for that somewhere else. This is a hack you have to use if you're running local SSL. Okay, that should work. And then let's just do I'm just going to let it output to there. Okay, so that should actually work. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. There's 3 tools. There's a way to check the tools. Just, there we go. Okay, so there is already a discover abilities, executability, and get ability info. Oh, interesting. So I'm guessing. All right. So the one thing that Lux has probably done is probably added some abilities to this plugin. Yeah, so there's a publish ability. When did he launch this? Last month. Okay. So Lux, the one thing I will say to you is that you probably don't need all of the MCP bridge stuff. Just because the MCP adapter comes with its own. Now, that having been said, if you don't want to use the automatic MCP WordPress remote bridge, which exists, then you can go this path. So maybe that's why I did it. So let's actually go through the process. I have actually no problem going through the process. So we've got the MCP adapter installed. Now we need to copy this Claude publisher ability. So I'm going to create one new plugin. So it's called Claude publisher ability. That. And then I'm going to copy the development projects Claude to blog Claude publisher ability to Claude publisher ability. Done. So now I should have the plugin. Here we go. It's one plugin file. It registers the publish ability, registers publish post. There's a test ability, the publish post ability, update post, list posts, permission checks. Good job, man. Publish post handler. Good stuff. Set the post, idle tags, get the object, return the object, update, good. Listing posts, notice. Okay, so it's just registering abilities. Okay, cool. So based on that, if I enable this plugin now, okay, I should be able to, with the default MCP server, I should be able to publish a post. So let's see if we can do that. So let's say I'm going to close the MCP.json and I'm going to say publish a post on local WordPress site titled WordPress haiku and generate a haiku for the post content. That should work theoretically. Let's see what happens. Okay, so there's discover abilities. Let's discover there's an ability it can use. All good. Publish the post. Let's check. Yeah, that works. Good stuff. Nice. Okay, so now let's check out Lax's local server situation. So I might run out of time to do all the things that I wanted to do today. So what he says is copy the studio bridge and that to a directory in the system. Well, we've got it where we need it already, so let's just do it in there. So let's open up that in VS Code, just because I like using VS Code when I look at these things. So there's development, projects, plot to blog. There's the bridge, there's the wrapper. Good. So there's the bridge. Okay, there's the wrapper. Okay, so this is what we need to change. So I'm just going to steal it from places. Blast. I shouldn't have. Let me just hang on. Oh wait, I've got it over here. Okay, so the site is that one. Now I'm jumping between windows. No, that was wrong. That one. That one. Okay. The username was admin. And the password was this. So he's using the same application password, this is all for local. Okay. Then copy that and that, update that with credentials, add MCP server and pass the path to the wrapper. So I'm going to do this in Claude in the terminal. So let's go here and let's go here. And let's just go to my root. Let's go Claude. No, I don't want to go. No. That's not what I want. No. What I want is this command. So there. And I'm going to need the path to the MCP bridge. So that will be development, projects, plot to blog, MCP bridge wrapper. Okay, so that looks like it's good. Got the application password, so now we should just be able to do this. Let's see. So let's just go Claude. Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. Don't care. Okay. Write a blog post about React hooks and publish it as a draft to my WordPress site. Let's see what that does. Doesn't seem to have worked. Let's see MCP servers. Still connecting. Ooh, connection failed. I wonder why that is. So Alex, I'm wondering if this is the same problem that I have with studio sites, where I have to let's try that. Photo library. Not for now. MCP. Enable. Connecting. See, he's using the default server. Claude/list debug to see how it looks. Okay. More spammers. Okay. Let's try debug. No. No. Okay, so let's log into here. Let's go to MCP. debug, blah. That one. Getting timeouts. Okay, I'm not sure why it's not working. It could be the SSL thing. But I know that the ability at least works, so that's cool. I'm not sure why the custom bridge doesn't work. So while we're at it, this would be a good time to install the MCP tracker. And then we can see what that does. So let's go back to, let's go MCP, can I disable? Move. Claude, add it. Claude add WordPress. So Claude MCP remove WordPress. I guess Claude MCP remove WordPress. Okay, that seems to be working out. Okay, so let's close this down. Let's close that down. Let's switch back to WordPress and use the MCP WordPress remote bridge. So that's this guy. Okay, so now let's install the MCP tracker. Add plugin. MCP tracker. Okay, there's a tracker. Cool. The one thing I would suggest, guys, is, or girls, people, if you're going to be installing something that's like a tool, like MCP tracking, add it to the tools menu. Like, unless it's doing a lot of things that it needs a top level menu, add it to the tools menu. It's just better, personal opinion. But anyway, let's create some MCP requests. So let's say list the last 10 published posts on my WordPress site. So that's going to do some things. It's using Lax's list posts ability, which is cool. So there's all the posts, excellent stuff. Most recent first year, whatever. Okay, then let's say create a post in draft on my site about testing new WordPress community AI plugins. Refer to the following list. And then let's give it the list. So let's say, let's do it this way. Let's give it some context. So let's say, using the last 10 posts to get an idea of my writing style. Create a post in draft on my site about testing these new WordPress community AI plugins. Now, I find the whole concept of, I'm going to switch to Opus for this one. I've been doing this for a while. If you're watching this, I've been doing this for a while. I tell the agent to get the last 5 posts on my site to get an idea of my writing style, and then use that writing style to create a new post. And I find giving it that context works really, really well. Because then it gets an idea of how you write and the kind of words that you use and the kind of style that you have. And I found that to be very good at then creating a first draft that is pretty close to how I would write. There's still some things that I change in the way things are said and the way things are done, but it does a lot of the work for me, so it's kind of good. So do check that out if you are ever using AI to generate written content. But as I've said before, and I will keep saying it again, review it yourself. Check that you're happy with it. Why are you fetching web pages? You've got MCP, you chop. I don't know why it's doing it that way. It just can just use the MCP abilities. That's silly. The whole point of local MCP is that you can work with something offline. Well, I suppose you can't work offline with AI because unless you have a local model. See, that's what I'm trying to work towards. I'm trying to work towards a world where I use a local model on my computer, and I can use that to work locally with a local install of my WordPress blog. So I can write offline when I'm on the plane, whatever. Work on stuff offline. That's my ultimate goal. So that's why I'm always testing these local models to see how good they are. Because if I can use them locally to work offline, this is taking a long time now. So while it's doing that, let's go and have a look at Ability Scout. Oh wait, here we go, something's happened. Yeah, it's fine. So I'm going to download Ability Scout so long. Oh, I need to just do it that way. Okay, so it looks like it's created the post. Let's go and have a look at what the post looks like. There we go. If you've been following WordPress development all this year, that's kind of how I start things. So there we go, blog post. It talks about all the projects. I may actually use this. Happy hacking. I would say that. I would usually say happy coding. Happy hacking, I'm perfectly fine with. Just convert it to blocks. You may see a version of this published on my blog sometime soon. Okay, cool. So that all works. So let's have a look at Lax's other plugin. I'm going to just install it here via Adobe PCLI. I see it says you can. Where's it now? You can install it via Adobe PCLI, so I'm going to do that. Okay, there's obviously a problem there somewhere. I'm going to just grab the latest code from GitHub. So let's go git clone. Doesn't look like it uses any composer or anything, so we should just be able to enable it. Oh, I didn't even check out the MCP tracker. Let's go see what the MCP tracker's got. There we go. So there's the ability that was executed. Looks like these failed or something. So nice one, guys. Looks like it picks up all abilities available on the site. Filter by users. Nice one, people. I like it. So if you want to install this one on your site, you can then track any kind of MCP requests to your WordPress site. So check that one out. MCP Tracker. It's on the WordPress org repositories. Works well. Simple. I like single-use plugins that do one thing and do one thing very, very well. So well done, people. I'm gonna ping the developer who's shared this with me afterwards and tell him. From what I can see, nice job. Okay, let's go back to Ability Scout. I'm guessing it's that abilities. Yeah, probably this one. So you select a plugin. It's going to tell you what abilities could be registered. Cool. Don't quite know what I would do with all this. It's basically scanning the code. And telling you. So there's functionality, obviously. So there's obviously import post meta. Let's have a look here. No. Not what I wanted. So essentially what it looks like this is doing is it's finding it's finding actions and filters by the looks of it. Is that right? It's finding actions, filters, and rest routes that could be potential abilities. Fair enough. What I would also like to see, maybe from something like this, is something like functions. Those could be potential abilities. So that could be something useful to add. But otherwise it works pretty well. Doesn't seem to do much else with that. But then you can export that. Oh, so there we go. So here's all the actions. There's all the filters. There's any rest routes. There's any shortcodes. But I mean, any functionality could be considered an ability. So I don't know where you draw the line. Like, at what point do you draw the line as to whether something is an ability or not? I feel like you almost need to scan the code and then send the code of the function to an AI and say, on a scale of 1 to 10, rate whether this could be an ability or not. Because like a getter or setter method or function or something that just updates something wouldn't be useful. Interesting. Cool. Well, those are those 4 experiments. As I say, I love the fact that the community is experimenting with these things. I encourage people to experiment with things. I'm going to try and report back some of my findings next week. So for the Ability Scout and for Laurie's provider. But I'm glad to see that people are experimenting with these things. Keep experimenting with these things. Keep building fun things with it. I look forward to seeing what people come up with. That's going to be it for me for today. I usually get to about an hour in the stream and then I'm just like done, unless I'm building something. But that's it for me, folks. I will see you hopefully next week Friday with something else. There's a couple other things that I've thought about building, but I just haven't got around to them yet, so maybe I'll work on that. But otherwise, have a great rest of your Friday and rest of your weekend, and I'll see you all next week. Bye.